Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another episode of What Do You Do? And you are in for a treat. We are talking about July 4th, the event that the city runs and hosts each year. I am here with Carrie Dyer, who is the city's Community Relations Program Manager, and she is an amazing maestro at this event. Carrie oversees the entire city portion of the 4th of July event. So Carrie, tell me a little bit about 4th of July. When do you even start planning for the event?
We typically start planning on July 5th each year, basically wanting to do a debrief of what has happened the night before and certainly putting any notes down that we have things that we want to change, things that went well. And then in January is actually when we really get into the planning portion of it.
So you really start doing the nitty gritty sort of stuff, in January, but always afterwards there's like a debrief, like you mentioned, that you try to improve things. Wow. So how many people for the city actually work on July 4th?
We've got a lead team of, I would say, about 12 people, and then certainly loads of support staff that are involved in preparation and day of work and cleanup, etc.
So how many people would you say in all actually touch or work on 4th of July?
I would say it's about 40 to 45 people. Last year we actually tracked our planning hours, and it was about 350 planning hours last year.
Wow. Is that for each person or total?
Total. That was total of all the planning hours for the team that was working on it.
Wow. So some of the team duties, like let's talk about that. You have like people that work on like public safety, obviously with police and fire, but like what other tasks are maybe associated with 4th of July?
Sure. Yeah, we've got a lot of different components to the event. We've got somebody that works with our local nonprofit groups as vendors. So she helps coordinate them coming into the park each year, and they sell food as part of their fundraising opportunities for their organizations. We work with our police department, obviously, for public safety. We work closely with our fire marshal to make sure that all of our fireworks are inspected and are in good working order, and also our fire department for providing, medical and on-site needs there. We've got our parks crews that work to make sure that the park is looking good and also are there for day of. Public Works is there for electrical needs. We work with the school district as a partner for using their property for shooting off the fireworks. We work with Ecology on our waste needs, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, but I feel very fortunate to work with a great team of people.
So it sounds like every department is involved in some way, shape, or form. Yes. It also includes not just our own city staff, but many partners, many organizations and nonprofits that also touch or are part of this event as well. So it sounds like it's more than just maybe 40 people, but overall it's like dozens, right, of our organizations and partners and things like that.
Absolutely. I guess, I also want to put a shout out to Davis Live Music Collective, who we work with each year for bringing great bands to the stage and really creating a really fun atmosphere. And then that certainly also involves our theater crew, who are out there doing stage operations all day.
Yeah. In case you didn't know that, it is actually our Veterans Memorial Theater staff that actually help to do the music, set up the mobile stage, and do all of that sort of back end work. So kudos to them, but also to the rest of our city staff too, who do such a role. So day of, like 4th of July, how many people are actually working like on July 4th?
I think we've got about 45 people this year between all of our logistics crew, our coordination staff, our public safety crew, etc. Of course, that doesn't necessarily include Ecology, who's out there doing the waste, Davis Live Music Collective members who are out there working with our bands, our fireworks company who brings their team out there, etc.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah,
for sure. So kind of talking about day of, like, what time do you guys actually start, or like what time are people actually like starting to do things, or is it maybe like the day before? Like what does the day of actually look like?
Well, we do a lot of our park setup on Wednesday, and then day of we'll start setting up bright and early that morning. Public Works will be there at 6 a.m. to bring out barricades. The stage will arrive about 8. Our lighting crew and our sound crew is coming about 10. And then there'll be various components of setup throughout the day. Discovery Christian Church, who's out there with their games area that they offer for free to everybody, will get there about 10 o'clock to start setting up their area. And then the vendors are out there, the health inspectors out there. So it's really busy during the day. And then in a typical year, our events start about 4 o'clock. This year, due to the heat, we're going to push things back until start time of about 6 o'clock. So.
That sounds smart. And then how about afterwards? Like once, for people who come, they watch the fireworks and then they leave the park. But like what time and what other tasks are maybe like after the fireworks show?
Oh, then we're cleaning it all up. And so we really aim to get the park back in working order that night. So the fireworks crew will stay and make sure that all of their debris is dealt with, and Recology will stay and make sure all of the waste is dealt with. The next morning, the porta potties will be picked up. The parks will go through and do a sweep. I'll spend time putting all of the random stuff back into storage, etc. And then we'll be ready for another year.
I mean, it sounds like a huge endeavor, like not just the different components to make that are a part of day of, but also all the pre-work, the after work, right? I mean, there's lots of things that go in and out of storage. We need to even put like the mobile stage away.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah.
So it takes a lot of effort to do this. Carrie, how long have you been working on 4th of July?
My first 4th of July that I worked on was in 1998. And it's been almost every year since. I had a couple of years off for parental leave, and early on another colleague and I used to alternate years, and so I think she did it 3 of those years, and then I had a couple of years off obviously during COVID when we were all staying home, but other than that I've been there almost every year since 1998.
That's amazing to hear. So Carrie is essentially telling me that she hasn't had a 4th of July off for many, many years. What do you think is the best place to view the fireworks?
I think that anywhere in the park, you're going to get a really great view. Any of the surrounding neighborhoods can provide an opportunity for viewing. The Covell Overcrossing Bridge is another spot where people will watch. And so I do know that people have just told me that as trees have gotten bigger in some of their neighborhoods, that their view isn't maybe quite as good as it was 20 years ago. But
still lots of great places.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily have to be in community park if you don't want to be there. I've heard a lot of people like watch from their yards. Yeah. There's even like neighborhood, parties or, that happen. And so then they watch from that. So lots of great vantages and viewpoints if you wanted to get a view of the fireworks show. How long is a fireworks show actually?
It is 15 minutes.
I didn't even think it was that long. It always feels like it goes by much quicker too, because like you're enjoying the show. So that's awesome to hear. Yeah. How many people do you think come or visit, watch the fireworks?
We estimate that we have about 10,000 people watching the fireworks each year.
That's a lot of people. All locals, you think? Or
no, I think we've got a number of people that also come from out of town, which we really enjoy having. They'll get there early, bring their barbecues or their dinner, and bring their families. Sometimes we see people, playing volleyball or soccer, in the park earlier, and it's just a really fun community celebration and gathering.
So talking about barbecue pits and sort of things to bring, what are maybe some tips or suggestions that you have for people who may want to attend our next year's fireworks show?
I think it's always important to come with lots and lots of water, sunscreen. It gets hot out there, maybe a hat, some cooling towels, some shade if you'd like, some umbrellas. I think a tip would be that if you are going to bring some shade, that you take it down when the sun goes down so that everybody's view of the fireworks is really easy to see. If you're local and you're wanting to arrive at the park, parking is actually a little bit at a minimum. So we always encourage walking if you live nearby, or biking. We do have the dog park area available with bike racks in it. So you're welcome to park your bike in there, bring your own lock, etc. So there'll be space in there for you to do that.
Awesome. Yeah. It's always a mass exodus, like leaving the park.
Yeah.
You always see people like walking, biking, driving, scootering, right? Yeah. What other options people choose to take. Any other things you want to mention or shout outs to folks that you want to give?
I guess I just want to say that I feel really lucky to work with such a great group of colleagues who are really dedicated to making this event safe and fun for our community. And we really love to see everybody coming out and having a great time.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say Carrie does an amazing job. So if you see her on the street, tell her to say thank you. She works on many other things, but 4th of July is for sure maybe a handful for her. So, you know, definitely thank you, Carrie, for all the work that you've done and for having such a successful 4th of July as we do every year. So there you go, guys. A little sneak peek into all the things that sort of happen around 4th of July in the city of Davis. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.